is changing their policy. So you guys are going to see this change, this adjustment to how you view YouTube. It's just, let's just read this real quick. This is what they said, and we'll go through some of the comments that they made. So this was happening. To reduce targeted dislike attacks and their impact on creators, especially small creators, you'll no longer see a public dislike count on YouTube starting today. The dislike button is staying. This comes after lots of research, testing, and consideration. I don't believe that at all. And the fact that they're trying to pin this on, like, hey, we're protecting the little guys, is fucking hilarious. And if there's anybody eating that up, I don't know what kind of crack you're smoking, but get off of that shit. It ain't good for you. Nonetheless, you're going to see slowly but surely going to be rolled out to basically the number of dislikes in terms of the count, you won't be able to see it. I think that this is a fucking bonehead decision, and I'll explain why here in a little bit. But I'm not speaking as some rookie who just hit it big on YouTube. I have been YouTubing since I was fucking 16 years old. I'm 31 right now. You do the math. So I've been here basically since it got off the ground. I was here making videos. You know what I mean? When it was actually YouTube, not Baytube. Right? And it was about individual creators being able to kind of be in a space. It used to be the cool thing about this site, to where you used to be able to, like, this was the only place that you could get like information that was contrary to like maybe what you saw in the mainstream. And it didn't matter. It didn't matter like how or what the subject matter was. It didn't matter. All right. We got all of these. That's what the concept was. And a big part of that was, of course, seeing the upvotes or the likes, whatever it was to be called. Seeing the ratio of that was a big portion of that. Now, their excuse, and we'll go through some of these in a minute, is that like, you can still see that in your YouTube studio. For those of you that aren't familiar with that, we have a little studio in the background, which is, a little nifty, in which you're able to upload your videos and all that, see your analytics. They're saying you can still see it there, but it's not public. Now, my thing is, you already gave people the option, which I disagree with that as well. I love that was the uniqueness about YouTube, where it didn't feel like it was controlled. Yeah, we know algorithms and all that, but it didn't feel controlled. And now it feels a lot more not organic and controlled. But what I mean by that is that you had all of these like arbiters. I don't want to really call us arbiters, but you could see the audience and their feelings on it, which was what made the video platform so cool. It was different from depending on someone to report the ratings for like a TV show or something that was funneled through all the controlled mediums of mainstream. No, it was just, hey, regular people can create an account, get logged in, and then immediately start telling people and it shows publicly if they like something, if they dislike something, all that was a big point of YouTube. And they gave you the option to turn that off. I didn't agree with that. So there's options that if you don't want to have your like counter on, you don't have to have that. You can turn the comments off. Again, you're kind of starting to defeat the purpose of this website. I didn't agree with that, but whatever. So at minimum, what they could have did and what they should have did, if they were caring so much about individual creators, why didn't you give the option? Why wouldn't you give me the option to say, leave it public? Because that's what I would do. I leave my shit public. I leave it public. And this was the excuse that they made for that. Here it is. We've seen that when creators use the option and chose to turn off the likes and dislikes of their videos, they can be bullied and harassed for their decision. Ultimately, it's our responsibility to protect the YouTube community. So we've decided to make this change all across videos. So this is what happened. This is what they're expressing here. Through their bullshit testing, they had a bunch of people that would find that, okay, this dislike counter just really fucks me up because I'm so fragile and my mind is depends on my entire life depends on my like ratio. And the fact that I get disliked by people just really makes me fucking distraught. So I don't want to do anything crazy or to myself or be in a bad mental health space. So I just want to remove it. So they removed it. They gave them an option and they removed it. And what people, the arbiter said, okay, you a fucking clown for doing that. Which, whatever. And instead of saying, well, that's, again, just people on your platform existing, showing how they feel about the creator doing that, you would much rather strip it away from fucking everybody to comfort that person, and which I don't think is that big of a group, to be fair, or as big as they're like making it out to be, of people who want to sit up there, because they're getting ratioed to this, deservingly so, to protect that minority of people that have fragile egos? Come on, bro. And someone would say, well, you can still see it. So what's the big deal? Anytime they change some shit, it's like, what's the big deal? I'll tell you that. I'll explain it. Because seeing the like to dislike ratio was a great way that was the cool way for the non-creator. The reason why we do this, the viewers, right? And I'm a viewer myself as well, to see kind of where their position lies with the audience and how it aligns with the audience, right? So I could watch a review of something and, I see that, okay, people really like this review. Read the comments, see what people are saying. What's the one with the most upvotes? What, you gonna take that shit away too? What's the most one with the most upvotes or whatever, like, which technically they already have, but you get what it is that I'm saying. You could see kind of if your position aligns with, let's say, what this audience is viewing, or what this person's audience. And that was a very cool feature. It may seem trivial, it may seem small, but you get intrigued, like, oh, people's watch time increases because of that. Like, okay, I see this has more dislikes than what most videos that are along this line say. But I'm going to watch this video. It's 10 minutes long. I want to see what the disconnect is, because so far, 3 minutes in the video, the person hasn't said something that I disagree or I feel warrants that. It's a cool conversation starter. And that's a big point of community, right? That's a big point of it. And they're trying to slowly but surely through these bullshit features that are basically being presented as if they're trying to protect people from themselves. It's silly, man. I don't need your protection. My ego will be just fine. I get it. You don't want people being harassed or stuff like that, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about people's thumbs and down a fucking video, bro. Get a grip. I ain't talking about someone threatening to fucking kill your wife or some crazy shit. We talking about someone clicking a button. You know what I mean? Like, that says a lot about you if that right there is what's going to get you to the point to where you're just so emotionally distraught to where you're like, oh, y'all need to change this. Even though that's been a core part of the YouTube, that's been a core point of this platform since its inception. You want to remove that? Why? And so this is my theory here. I don't think it has a goddamn thing to do with small creators. This is what I believe, and some people agree with me. I'm not exactly saying anything extremely profound. People see YouTube, unfortunately, got in bed with the devil. They've been working with governments around the world, Google, since Google's obtained them. You see how they work with big major like actors and actresses, which again, this defeats what YouTube was about. It used to be something for independent kind of creators. That was kind of what this space was reserved for. And now it's just nothing but, a lot of the top stuff is things from these massive mega corporate entities, right? But they got in bed with them. And you see definitely with the cultural shift now, a lot of people showing their distaste or dislike for a lot of stuff that's being put out there. The main one a lot of people would point to is like what's going on with Biden in the White House. White House can't stop being fucking ratioed. What if they're going to keep that little bar there? I doubt it. But the White House can't stop being ratioed. They get ratioed to shit. Right? They get ratioed to shit. But also, it's not just them. Look at when Marvel does some goofy shit. You know what I mean? These mega big corporate entertainment industries, entities that do put out some corny ass trailer. And then people say, fuck that. That's just goofy as hell. And then we talk about the ratio. Entire articles get wrote on the ratio. I think that's who they did that for, because it then becomes a bad look. Again, it matters because people look at that and say, wow, people don't really like that. It doesn't seem like I'm going to like it either. You see that comparing and that contrasting, and that could turn into a person that does not want to see this or doesn't want to contribute to a ticket sale or something. I think those are the people that were griping. Not the small creators, which, again, I don't understand how they could try to pin that on the small creators anyway, right? Why would you pin it on them? If anything, that's going to matter to the people who are getting like these mass sort of what they say is like these targeted dislike attacks. That's not generally happening to small creators. Not saying it's not. I'm just saying that's not generally the case. And anything is targeted. If a bunch of people don't like the shit, it's targeted. And again, we're not discussing, some people telling their audience to go to some independent, some creator and say, like, downvote this shit. No, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the fact that people get ratioed is essentially what YouTube is trying to protect creators. That includes mega corporate entities with big billion-dollar marketing firms and shit. That includes them as well. They want to protect their fragile egos because that may impact them. And like, to me, that's just dumb. It's just, I don't understand that. I'm not going to even attempt to understand that. And I would have some sort of leeway if they just gave people the option. And yeah, you're right. Some people would look at other people and say, okay, I'm not necessarily going to be interested in this type of creator because they're not being like as transparent with their like and thumbs up vote. I'll pass. So what? What's the problem? What's the problem? You at least gave the creator the choice, and that choice may have impacted whether or not someone will be into that, but what's the problem? That's what this website's about. That's the whole fucking part of YouTube. A bunch of people going and see what kind of creators and videos that they like. That's what the point of the fucking platform is. So what? And I'm not saying that just because I have a high fucking like ratio. No, sometimes I say something that piss you off, especially when I start talking about fucking military and police officers. That fucking let that dislike counter start to go up. I just don't care. Like, well, it's not that I don't care. I do care. I care. But I don't care enough about it to make me so emotionally distraught to where I'm like, I think it should be removed. No, I'm not taking those videos down. I'm not hiding the like counter on that. No, I'm going to leave them up. That's my position. I'm a creator. I do that. So I'd have less of a problem, which again, is not that I'm without a problem. I have less of it if they were at least giving us the choice. But to apply that unanimously shows this ain't got a goddamn thing to do with creators. Nothing. It has nothing. This is entirely corporate. We know it's corporate and they're selling us on a lie. So I will say this, because who knows? They continue to do weird things. I'm on Odyssey. Y'all need to understand that. People keep, why aren't you on Rumble and all this stuff? No. It's not no disrespect to those video platforms. My alternative video platform of choice. I don't want 17 fucking video platforms that I could be on. Obviously, with my website, you'll be able to get a lot of stuff there as we launch that portion of it. But as well as my alternative video preference is Odyssey. That's Odyssee. Let's go take a look while we're at it. It's funny because in the video or in the Twitter feed, you see Odyssey and them comment basically calling out the fucking ratio, which I thought was fucking hilarious. So I'm gonna go to my site right quick and show y'all that, and just to kind of reference what I'm referring to. Let's see if we can find that real quick. Yeah, right here. Like Odyssey says ratio, and that has more. I wonder they can get Twitter to try to remove this as well, which Twitter kind of allows you to not have like comments on your shit and everything. So whatever. But yeah, ratio, and it has more likes than the damn post, which is hilarious. You can find me at Odyssey. My entire catalog is there. I know, of course, the creators of Odyssey. I think they're very good peoples, and you can see my entire fucking catalog is right there, the entire thing. So for you guys that want an alternative in the event that Mama Susan continues to ramp this up, and that ends up with me being either severely ostracized in terms of like shadow banned, or God forbid my channel gets taken down, here I am. This is my alternative platform of choice. And they still have basically a thumbs up meter and a thumbs down meter that is still there. And the count is, of course, live. You can go check that out. You just watched a clip from my podcast, For Canon's Sake. Catch us live at 12 p.m. throughout the week over at youtube.com/YoungRipper59 and follow us over at odyssey.com/@YoungRipper59. If you want to watch the entire video cast after the show is over, just be sure to become a member on the YouTube channel. Of course, the full audio portion of the podcast is available for free on all major digital platforms, or just visit forcanonsake.com.